again and took his 5th pole position of the season. Here's how the rest of them line up.
Pole position, a record for this season. He's the only guy to have 5, and Zanardi, believe it or not, hasn't had 1, which is amazing. 6 wins. Fittipaldi there in 3rd. He had a huge crash in Australia last year and broke his leg and missed 7 races, so that's pretty impressive for him to come back and put it all out of his mind. And there you can see Jimmy Vasser on the inside of row 4. Now he's in 7th place, and although that's not a bad qualifying position, and he's got his teammate Zanardi up there at the front who could possibly help him out, he'll still be worried because he's got a fair bit of work to do. And something that also mitigates against him is the fact that he's a winner in '96 at Surfers Paradise. Nobody's ever had a repeat victory there, so you know, you'd say that the gods are favouring people who haven't won there before, the likes of a Zanardi or a Franchitti or even Fittipaldi, who's never won an IndyCar race yet.
And very, very briefly, would it be fair to say that Zanardi might do the dirty and help Vasser out a little bit?
Well, I think he's already admitted that, you know, he would like to help him out, but I don't think you'd ever see him sort of, you know, actually hit somebody. I think, you know, he's beyond that. He doesn't need to do that. He's already got the championship in the bag, I think.
OK, well, it's race 18 then of the FedEx Championship Series from Surfers Paradise in Australia. Can Dario Franchitti continue his astonishing run of form? Your race commentators are Ben Edwards and Guy Hobbs.
Beautiful day here in Surfers Paradise. It's a holiday town anyway, and everybody's turned up to enjoy themselves as they get ready to go racing. The green flag flies. Franchitti well ahead as the green comes out there, and Zanardi, I don't think will have much chance down to the first chicane. Franchitti goes okay, I think, through the first part as the rest of the field comes through. Franchitti safely through there. Zanardi in 2nd. Tracy's gone well. He's up into 3rd.
Tracy started 4th, got by Christian Fittipaldi to pick up the 3rd position. It looks like everyone was able to make it cleanly through the first couple of chicanes, and Franchitti was able to prove Zanardi wrong and get a great start. And I think Jim Schwintal just let that one go because he was happy to get off clean, even though they weren't exactly side by side.
No, that's right. I think Zanardi might have hoped that they would have been slightly more side by side, but Franchitti definitely slightly ahead. They let him get away with that, so he is out in front. There he is, the Scotsman, as he locks those front tyres up, and he's got to watch that. It is hard, heavy braking coming into quite a few of these chicanes, but you can't afford to flat spot the tyres too much. The rest of the cars streaming through there, and look at this, the top 2 already beginning to pull away a bit.
A little bit. Dario Franchitti, of course, got lots of pressure on him. Alex Zanardi is doing everything he can to help Jimmy Vasser maintain 2nd in the championship. There's $500,000 to 2nd in the championship. So Zanardi is going to be driving very aggressively to start with to try and get ahead of Franchitti, and Franchitti knows that and is working his heart out right now to keep Zanardi behind him.
Now here's another battle that's going on, but this, let me tell you, is a long way down. 20th position, would you believe, for Al Unser Jr., the former champion in the Penske. They're still not coming together for this team. And indeed, both cars were a long way down on the grid. Al Unser Jr. qualified 19th. Andre Ribeiro qualified down in 22nd. And we've got a spinner. It's Michel Jourdain Jr. And the young Mexican has lost it. And you can see the line of rubber there. And the yellow, local yellow at the moment. Now, is this going to bring out a full course? I would think it would have to. Look at that. He's very much on line there. And that's going to cause a few problems. We haven't had any yellow flags yet. Fuel is an issue here this weekend. And unless they get some yellow flags, there could be some problems. The 2 leaders go past. They get past safely. Let's hope that everybody else manages to do it carefully. And it does sound as though we've got a full course yellow. The pits are open, and I would imagine that we will see some stops here.
I'm going to say the fuel is an issue. The window is lap 22-23. Now here come the leaders, and they both dive in. Obviously, once the leader goes in too, it's up to Zanardi to go in as well. And now this is where Zanardi could take over the lead. Watch the great pit work by the Ganassi team. Of course, the Cool team very good as well, but Ganassi seems particularly good, and Zanardi seems particularly good getting out of the pits.
That's right, this is a real battle going on between the 2 pit crews, but Team Green and Dario Franchitti have made some great pit stops this year. They had a few problems earlier in the year as the new team got together. Zanardi's away, and he's got away in front. He's ahead of Franchitti, and Zanardi takes the lead, and the Ganassi team's done it again.
They have done it again. It looked like there was no urgency in the Team Green pit area. They didn't look like they were rushing or anything because of the fact they're pitting under yellow, but they still had to get out and beat Zanardi out. Now Paul Tracy goes out. Greg Moore comes in very hot.
And Michael Andretti comes out. Well, there you are. That's what it's all about. That's part of the championship success that Alex Zanardi has had. As they come out through the last couple of corners, really tries to accelerate early to beat Zanardi away. And you can see Zanardi's car really scrabbling for grip as they come out of that turn. In fact, that was the corner that Nigel Mansell lost it in the wet here, the second year that he was racing on this Australian track. After getting a pole position, Zanardi bounces it over the curb, and the others get through there safely by the looks of it. The two Newman Haas cars, Fittipaldi and Andretti, chasing the two Team Green cars, but it's Alex Zanardi who leads away on this restart.
It looked like Franchitti was going to be able to stay with him. He stayed very close, but now suddenly, after that quick right left-hander, Zanardi seems to be able to pull away. As they hit these curves, you've got to be really careful there. Vassar having looked down the inside of Fernandez. Because the problem with running over the curve, which you need to do to make the corner shorter, if you get it slightly wrong, they're going to bounce the car up into the wall on the outside of the track. Which, of course, once you've got the wheels airborne, you have no control over the car.
That's right, and that's and it's history, isn't it? We've seen one or two big accidents here at Surfers Paradise in the past, and in fact there was the race that Paul Tracy went on to win back in 1995, when Michael Andretti led nearly all the race and then lost second gear, and he was trying to win the race. Oh, Franchitti's a bit sideways there. Michael Andretti was trying to win the race without second gear. He nearly did it as well, but then through that chicane, he just got it all wrong, and unfortunately smashed the car, and Paul Tracy came through to win it.
That was a fantastic race we saw there, as you mentioned, back in 1995. Right now, no one's stuck in second. It looked, well, Franchitti stuck in second position, as Zanardi seems to have checked out just a little bit. Interesting feature here, Ben, that makes the Champ Car Kart Series so interesting. We've got the manufacturer's title and, of course, the rookie title. We also have the nation's title. Right now, we have an Italian leading over a Scotsman, over a Canadian, then the Brazilian, Christian Fittipaldi, and then an American, Michael Andretti. So 5 nations represented in the top 5, and the Nations Cup has not yet been clinched.
That's right, the Nations Cup, a series of points given to the top finisher from each respective country. And Zanardi, amazing, kept the Italian honours up there. He's on his own, isn't he? Because he's the only one who's been scoring points for Italy effectively. Another lap is completed by Alex Zanardi. Not as quick as his previous lap, but again, he did manage to just gain another 1/10 of a second over Dario Franchitti. You just saw the dust being kicked up. That was from Zanardi. So it just shows how hard he's trying. He's trying to get a bit more of a gap on Franchitti before this next round of stops.
Wow, now that last lap, Christian Fittipaldi was 2 miles an hour quicker. Here's the replay of Paul Tracy locking them up.
Oh, look at that. He's gone straight across the chicane this time and lost control of the car. Oh, and apparently Michael Andretti has a damaged right front wing. Now, I wonder if that's anything to do with any contact with Tracy. Well, this he had a puncture. I think he had a puncture, you know, coming in there. I think that left rear was already punctured as he came into that one.
The left rear down, because guess how it got punctured? Guess why Michael Andretti's got problems with his right front wing?
That's right. There's obviously been contact between these two, and that's the result. That was the end result, because Tracy lost it. Look at that left rear punctured. Now, that was punctured before he even got across the chicane. Into the pits then, these two leaders. Well, not leaders, but part of the lead group. Tracy comes back out, Michael comes back out, but it is a full course yellow. So that's, is it a full course yellow? I think it is. The pace car's waiting to pick up race leader now. And, of course, it's likely that we shall see Zanardi and Franchitti dive into the pits at this point. Green flag, and Alex Zanardi goes racing again as he tries to pull away from Dario Franchitti, Christian Fittipaldi and Patrick Carpentier. Now, we mentioned Patrick to you earlier. Remember, he's on a different stop strategy to everybody else, but he might well be able to make it through on just one more stop. And that really will effectively mean that he's in this position now. Everyone else is going to have to make a stop. He will have to stop for a bit longer. There'll be a bit more fuel, perhaps, to put in his car. But not a great deal of difference. And therefore, Patrick Carpentier, through that strategy, really could have gained some good points here today, if, of course, he can hold it there. 4th place at the moment. Ribeiro is another man who's done the same. He has come up to 5th place. He was another one who didn't stop on the first round, did stop later on, and again, Ribeiro now appears in 5th place on our lap charts. Guterman is up to 7th as well, and Greg Moore is up to 6th. So we're really seeing some changes here.
The interesting thing with the restart on lap 37, the pit window at about 22 to 23 laps, that takes us to lap 59.60. And of course, the schedule for the 65 laps, so it's going to be very, very close and tight on this whole situation, which is going to make it a very exciting finish to the kart Grand Prix of Australia. Here we see Michael Andretti now trying to chase up to the back of the pack. After that long stop, he's still back in 23rd position. The last car running on the track behind Vincenzo Sospiri, who is struggling in the Eagle Toyota again for the All-American races. Of course, Vincenzo Sospiri has had an unbelievable year in the International Sports Racing Series over in Europe. 5 wins in the Ferrari over there, looking for better things in 1999 if he is in fact able to return to the series.
That's right. Alex Barron has been signed up, by the way, for that team, but they may only be running the one car next year, so whether that gives Sospiri a chance or not, we'll have to see. Back with the leaders, though, and Alex Zanardi and Dario Franchitti. Again, these two, they've been dominating this race. They've been dominating the weekend. They started together on the front row. Franchitti led the early laps, hounded by Zanardi. Now, we're just taking a look at an incident that's happened in the background. There was Zanardi, Tracy rather, sorry, not Zanardi, Paul Tracy, going straight down the escape road across the chicane. And we gather there's a full course. Oh, and it's Jimmy Vasser, the man who's second in the championship. He's had a pretty big accident by the looks of things. The back end of the car, well, right front and left rear taken off that car, and that looks like he's had a heavy whack. That looks like the same area that Christian had his accident last year. And let's see if we get a chance to see whether he had contact with another car. Take a look at it here. Helio Castroneves squeezed him out on the way in. Oh no! Big accident for Jimmy Vasser.
Oh, look at that wheel get launched. Luckily, they get caught by the fencing there, but oh, that is costly for the championship. For second position, we talked all about the strategy. Zanardi trying to help his mate Jimmy clinch second in the championship.
That's
Dario Franchitti is getting points right now at 16 points for second place. A tough day for Jimmy. Looks like he may have hurt his hand a little bit there. A replay from overhead. There you see him get squeezed out by the wall and then heavy contact with the tyre wall. And that's what rips up the front. Actually, the front hit on the right side too.
Zanardi leads them round. Franchitti still hungry for more race wins. He might have had a good season, but he wants that second place in the championship. He wants race victories more than anything else. He's had 3 wins already this season. Zanardi's had 6 wins, and I'm sure that Franchitti would just love to add another one to their tally. They all get sideways. Fittipaldi particularly had a big sideways twitch as they come out of the last corner. Green flag again, on to lap number 45 now, and Zanardi versus Franchitti continues. Meanwhile, Brian Hertzler was having a little look at Gilda Ferret, bouncing over the curve through the first chicane. Zanardi gets through there safely, and again, the leaders all make it through safely. On board with Zanardi looking back at Franchitti.
And there you see him stretch it just a little bit under acceleration down the main straightaway, because that will close up under braking. There you see Franchitti coming right up behind, underneath the wing of the target Reynard of the Honda. Of course, great for Honda this weekend, currently running 1-2 with the Ford of Christian Fittipaldi in third. And of course, Firestone 1-2, Goodyear in third. Zanardi, there you see him checking the mirrors, seeing how far he can get between him and Franchitti. It looks like he's just got a little extra power down the straightaway there.
Yeah, it could be that. Could be they're running a slightly different aerodynamic package on the car, a little less wing perhaps, that would give him a little bit more straight line speed, and that could be just enough to inch away from Franchitti. Both, as you say, using the Honda engine, both in the Reynard chassis, both on Firestone tyres. The identical package. It's been the dominant package now for 3 years. If we look at this package of Reynard, Honda, Firestone, right from the 1996 season, which of course saw Jimmy Vasser win the championship, through 1997 with Zanardi winning, through this season with Zanardi winning the championship and with Franchitti winning more races than anybody else apart from Zanardi. Again, this package is the one to have.
And of course, that's what's made the off-season so interesting in the kart series, because the team owners have got to decide what their package is going to be for the next year. And at this point, a lot of people are hedging their bets on the package being Swift, Firestone and Honda power, and that may well be the case. But of course, you don't know until all the pre-season testing and then the spring training down at Homestead, till you've really come up against all the other packages and see what everybody else has got. And then of course it can be do or die days, like either yes, we've got the package, or uh-oh, this is going to be a long season.
Up front, the battle is between Zanardi and Franchitti.
Now these guys did stop for fuel. One interesting thing is we've had 7 different winners in 7 different races here in Australia, and it looks like we're going to get another first-time winner here in Australia between Zanardi, Franchitti, or Fittipaldi, but Fittipaldi seems to have lost the chase just a little bit.
Yes, he does, doesn't he? He couldn't stay with the pace of these two. Perhaps that Goodyear tyre not quite as sharp on the restart when it's not as up to temperature. They seem to be able to lap at the same pace once they are up to temperature. But the Firestone tyre, when it's not fully up to temperature, still seems to give the drivers massive amount of confidence. They really seem to be able to slide the car around on cold tyres, and that's what's happened here as Zanardi and Franchitti have just stormed away again as they go across the line. That's 59 laps in the book, but we're getting closer to the 6 minutes past the hour, which marks the 2-hour point in this race. They've got about 5 minutes of racing still to go here. They're only going to get in about 3 or 4 laps.
3 laps. Now, the other crucial thing is, do they complete the 3rd lap right before the clock hits the 2-hour mark and then still have to do 1 more lap? It could be a lot like last year. We could see 2 white flags coming this year.
Yeah, Karts will be keen to put the the white flag out to indicate that last lap at the right time. But these two, oh no, what a shame, we've got a car off. It's Alex Barron who's off, Richie Hearn is also off. They've obviously had contact, and that means it's going to be yellow again. Oh, and it's one of the Newman Haas cars. I think it's Michael. Yeah,
Andretti.
Michael Andretti. That was the battle that was going on for around 10th position, and it looks as though all 3 of them have come to grief. And that, of course, has brought out the full course yellow. And now we're in danger of it finishing for the 2nd race in succession under yellow.
I think that is going to be the case. There we see Alex Barron running away, or not running away, but running off the track. Richie Hearn is buried in the tyres, and I think his car is damaged. And Michael Andretti has obviously got damage to his car. And you can see these guys working furiously because they don't want the race to end under yellow if they can help it. And they really just want to get these cars parked off to the side and let the race for the win as we get a replay.
Now, Barrett, that was a funny lose, wasn't it? That's something, it looked like something seized up to me on that one. Looked like the gearbox seized, and of course, I think the others just came around, had nowhere to go. I think Max Papis it was who squeezed through. Let's take another look at this from the camera just on the other side of the barrier. This should give us a good view. Now, watch this back end of, it just snaps halfway around. That's weird, because he's not on the power there. Hits the barrier, here come the others. Gordon, that is. Yeah. Oh, and the others have spun sort of already in avoidance. Now, whether that was in avoidance, so let's have a look from Michael's car. What can we see from here?
This is where we'll see it coming up. As you look forward, you can see Barron spinning. There you see him, Gordon slowing down. Michael slowed down and got hit from behind by Richie Hearn, which spun him around. I don't think there's any damage to Michael's car, and he may be able to get going again after we just complimented him on getting up to 10th. Here it is from Richie Hearn. And then you see him contact there. Yeah. That spins Michael around. Richie's got nowhere to go. He's all locked up, just headed for the tyre wall.
White flag. It is white flag we're going to get this time. Are we going to get the green as well? I'm not sure that we are. No, I think we're going to get white and yellow together, in fact. So it looks as though for the 2nd race in succession, this race will be won under yellow flag. It happened in Houston 2 weeks ago, but on that occasion, Dario Franchitti beat Alex Zanardi in a straight fight. This time, Alex Zanardi is set to reverse the tables and to come out on top of Franchitti after another straight fight between the 2 of them.
I was curious as to why the crews keep going so furiously to get the area cleaned up once they've seen that white and yellow flag display, because they know at this point is over. But I saw Robbie Gordon overtaking earlier as well under this yellow and white flag situation. So
Zanardi's enjoying this now. Look, he's on the last lap, but he's confident the car will get to the end. As long as he doesn't switch the engine off as he's going round behind the pace car, he should be all right. Zanardi, Franchitti and Fittipaldi, and let's not forget Christian, because Christian Fittipaldi's best result of the year has been a 3rd place. He's going to match that podium finish he had at Road America, and those 3 same drivers, as you mentioned earlier, who were on the podium in Road America, on the podium here again in Australian Surface Paradise. Just the top 2 have been swapped round.
They've swapped it around. Of course, 20 points for Alex Zanardi, 16 for Franchitti, which puts him ahead of, obviously, Basser, and 2nd in the championship. Christian will pick up 14 points for his 3rd place finish, and of course another first-time winner here in Australia.
Here we go then. Zanardi coming up to take the checkered flag, accelerates cleanly to cross the line. Alex Zanardi is the winner in Australia. Win number 7 of the 1998 season.